Hello, everyone, and welcome to our session Fostering Collective Responsibility Towards COVID-19. This is a unique session hosted by SBI Foundation. 2020 certainly is a historic year, a unique year where we all have been fortunate to see how global resetting is working across different countries across the world. Every country, every people, every organization have responded uniquely to the situation, and so has SBI Foundation. This session is an effort to share SBI Foundation's response to implementing relief and rehabilitation during the pandemic in India. I welcome the speakers for the session and the prime leadership team of SBI Foundation, whom you're familiar with. Managing Director and CEO of the Foundation, Mrs. Manjula, Kalyanasundaram, and President and Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Nixon Joseph. Welcome, sir. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Indrani.
Before we get into the round of a few questions that will actually tell us about how the foundation is working towards a response to the pandemic, we will like to know a little bit about you and your personal journeys. So Manjula ma'am, my first question to you, you are a stalwart, you're a finance expert, and responding to banking related crisis is your domain expertise. So we do not want to know much about how you do your day-to-day professional work, but we are certainly interested in hearing from you one example of how you tackle any personal crisis. If you can give us a small example of how do you, on a personal front, how do you tackle any personal crisis?
Thank you, Indrani. Being from SBI, everyone works in various roles like a branch manager, a regional manager. I have been also a DGM in a business unit and HR head of another subsidiary. So all the time you are faced with some reality. So my personal way of looking at crisis is another problem, another challenge. And it is like any other challenge that you need to overcome. So you need to find your own solutions with the end goal in mind and also empathy in your heart. And definitely the solutions come to you.
Great, ma'am. And ma'am, can you tell us a little bit about your academic background and how you have come where you are as a leadership team of SBI Foundation?
Yeah, Indrani, the journey in SBI has been more than 3.5 decades back. I've done various assignments as a branch manager in several branches and in credit and in HR, and I also had a stint abroad in Hong Kong, and then I was DGM of a business vertical in Patna, and I came over to Mumbai as HR head of SBI Life Insurance.
And ma'am, what about your role? How did you transition into the foundation?
CSR has always been part of SBI. SBI has started CSR even before it became a mandate in the government. Yes, so very long back, even as a branch manager in a very small branch, we were allotted a budget where we had to do our CSR activities. So our CSR is in our blood. In all bankers, especially SBI bankers, we always look for opportunities where we can make a difference to the community we serve. So it has been a gradual progression. In my previous assignment, I was also part of the CSR committee. So this has been a gradual progression. I'm very humbled and honored to have taken over as.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So it's really glad to. I mean, we all know about it, but I'm really glad to know that SBI as a bank has always been a known brand and a symbol of trust. But SBI has not only been a bank or a finance leader, but it has also had in the heart of it social cause. Nixon sir, you are a marathon legend, but you also are a banker. So I'm going to ask you a very question, I mean, the same personal question in a different way. How can you give us, like, you have a personal discipline that you have not let go even during this crisis time. Can you give us one example? How do you deal with personal crisis and keep up that discipline?
See, no matter who you are, how much you earn, how rock solid your life feels, crises are inevitable. But the way you respond to this crisis is optional. Being challenged in life is inevitable, but being defeated is an option. So as far as I am concerned, when a crisis arises, I generally accept that reality. Accepting the situation doesn't mean that I'm agreeing to what's going on, but it means that I'm willing to acknowledge reality. Only then we can take a positive action. So that is one way I face crisis, by accepting the reality. And second is, I have a helpful mantra, like I have survived tough times before, and that I repeat to myself many times. And I always think if I surrender to a crisis, I'm like any other person. I should be different by facing the crisis. That drives out all the negative thoughts.
So can you give us an example of a crisis?
See, when after my assignment in Japan, I was posted to Garo Hills, Meghalaya as the regional manager to look after 42 branches in 5 districts and 430 staff. And this was an assignment others were not willing to take because of kidnappings which are common in the region. I willingly accepted the highly challenging assignment because I thought, if you are in the bank, you should be ready to accept any assignment. It's not that we'll accept only foreign assignment. When it comes to domestic assignment, we should accept it. And people were not willing to go because kidnapping was common there. And it is a very undeveloped place. So I was coming from a very developed Japan to an undeveloped Garo Hills. And during my tenure, 2 of my colleagues were kidnapped. And they were in the custody of the kidnappers for more than 17 days.
Oh my God.
While the police were doing their best, they were in a dilemma whether they should directly attack the kidnappers or take time. So the kidnappers were in negotiation with me. I also understood from the police that they wanted time to zero in on the location, etc. So I decided on a strategy of buying time. So almost 14-15 days, I was negotiating with the kidnappers and buying time. So by this time, the police could zero in on the location and could get the catch the culprits and also ensure the safe release of my colleagues. So that was something, a big crisis which I faced, because when the colleagues were kidnapped, their parents, the bank's top management, then all the other 430 colleagues are all on me. They were looking upon me to save this boy. And when I could ensure their safe release, I felt so happy. Then I thought that the way I approached to resolve this crisis was correct.
Yes,
absolutely. It is how you behave in a crisis that defines what type of person you are.
Yes.
And that's what people will remember most about you. But even now, people in Meghalaya, all the banking colleagues there, they remember me and the leadership traits I showed at that time. I always believe that crisis doesn't create a character. It only reveals our character.
Exactly. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am. One of the key things why I asked to tell that to our audience is that, yes, we are presenting the SBI Foundation leadership here, but leadership is not only fancy. Leadership comes with a lot of responsibilities. Leadership faces challenge every day. Leadership has to resolve crisis. So that was the basis of asking this question. So getting into the session, SBI Foundation has been in the forefront of implementing relief and rehabilitation efforts for all strata of the society across geographies in India as a response to the pandemic. Today, we bring you some questions which will help us to understand how SBI and its fraternity have contributed to the same. So, Manjula ma'am, how are different entities of SBI contributing to COVID-19?
Indrani, SBI and its various subsidiaries, which are financial institutions, are basically essential services. So the first thing is that all the group entities have ensured that there was uninterrupted service to all our customers, and basic banking and other facilities have been provided. But other than that, as a corporate citizen, immediately in the month of March itself, 2.5 lakh employees of SBI contributed 100 crores to the PM CARES Fund.
Wow.
And in addition, again in May, another 8 crores was contributed to the PM CARES Fund. And we also, the subsidiaries and the employees of the subsidiaries have also contributed various amounts into this fund. And in addition to that, the bank has set aside as an initial purpose 30 crores and given it to SBI Foundation and said that you head and do your relief efforts for this pandemic. And this was done very early in the month of March and April itself. So we could go ahead and evolve strategies where we could help the person at the last mile, be it a supply of PPE kits or ventilators or food for the migrants. All of it was done by SBI Foundation in time. In addition to it, we also got the SBI Ladies Club, which is the female wing, that is the spouses of SBI executives. They have also contributed about 1 crore plus to SBI Foundation to carry out the relief efforts. And all of these activities were carried out along with our SBI offices spread across all geographies. Just like you said, across all geographies, we have ensured that the relief was provided. And we have partnered with several NGOs also to reach the last mile where it was required. And our Youth for India and Gram Seva, which are our flagship projects, all our fellows and our NGOs working there have all ensured that they work in synchrony with what is required in the ground. So this way, SBI Foundation has responded to this crisis immediately and in a timely manner.
Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, 108 crores to PM CARE and then 30 crores to set up an initiative is incredible, and in 3 months. So that has been incredible. So it shows dynamism of the bank, and it also shows dynamism of the people involved. So Nixon sir, what are some ways in which the foundation is currently supporting COVID-19 efforts?
Okay. See, the outbreak of COVID-19 is a major global crisis. These are tough and uncertain times, and the nation needs our collective efforts.
Yes.
Being a CSR foundation, our mission is even more important now.
Yes.
This shared sense of responsibility is what is driving SBI Foundation. And all our efforts are directed towards making a positive contribution during this crisis.
Yes.
I will mention some of our projects through our partnership with Project ECO. We are supporting and building the capacity of healthcare professionals through an innovative tele-mentoring program.
Okay.
And the long build a rapid response system for future epidemics and illnesses. SBI Foundation is also promoting research and development to combat coronavirus. We have partnered with Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, to support initiatives such as low-cost indigenous ventilators and mobile diagnostic labs. We intend to support more such research initiatives in the near future. Under our flagship program, SBI Gram Seva, and through the SBI Prerna platform, rural women have stitched and distributed over 30,000 masks to community members and local authorities, including frontline workers such as the police, administrative and healthcare officials. This initiative has also empowered over 60 women and continues to augment their income during this testing time. And information, dissemination, and awareness about COVID is being carried out at the community level through microphones, community level WhatsApp groups, etc. in all our 50 Gram Seva villages. Distribution of ration and sanitation kits to migrant and vulnerable communities is also being done through SBI Gram Seva program. And when I come to this food and kits distribution, I tell with pride that we have distributed almost 500,000 ration kits all over India.
Wow. Okay.
And also 50,000 PPE kits to healthcare professionals.
Mm-hmm.
And our Center of Excellence for Persons with Disabilities, they're organizing a series of webinars, especially for the visually challenged and hearing impaired, to help the disabled seamlessly lead their lives during these troubled times. The two of our team members, Mr. Kandu Bandare, who is visually challenged, and Mr. Sridhar Tijas, who is partially challenged, are leading these webinars is itself a strong message of hope and positivity, which is very much required in the present times, which EU team is imparting.
That rapid response, telemedicine, research, and also covering all vulnerable communities. It's a fantastic way of like looking at a holistic approach to kind of responding to a situation, to a crisis. So thank you, sir, for that. Manjula ma'am, I have a question from you about, I have a question for you about the vision of the foundation itself. What is the long-term vision of the foundation to support healthcare initiative? Because now we see with the pandemic that healthcare or health definitely stands before anything else for everyone.
Yeah, so very truly said, Indrani. This can't, whatever we are doing, it can't be a short-term measure, because this is a pandemic which has changed our lives. Generations ahead and after us, hopefully, will not see this kind of a pandemic again. But for that, we need to build up. So what in the long term, what we want to do, what we propose to do is, we want to build up the capability of our healthcare systems so that they can attack such kind of epidemics or illnesses. So in India, we need to ramp up the quality of our healthcare. It's not that we are not doing now. We do have the best of doctors and facilities right now, but we need to ramp up because our population is much higher than any other country. So we need to ramp up, and we need to ramp up the capacity and the quality. Now, another thing what we also are thinking of is, or we have decided is, that we need to identify and support innovative healthcare solutions. Innovative in the sense that we should be able to afford affordable and quality healthcare. So that would be our second goal for a long-term vision. And thirdly would be partnering with our state and central governments, various state governments and central governments, so that proper dissemination of information goes out. Because all this also is very much required. We need to reach to the last person. So all this information to pass it on to the last person, also we want to support the various government agencies. So this would be our long-term vision towards healthcare.
Oh, that's fantastic. Innovation leading to affordability, and also co-creation where you stakeholders in doing what you're doing is very important approach. So thank you, ma'am, for sharing that. Both Manjula ma'am and Nixon sir, I'd like to say that we have about 366 people viewing us live at this point of time. And of course, the audience will keep changing. But the good thing is that we are doing this knowledge session at this point of time where, formal abilities of conducting events is not possible. And we are connecting and trying to bring information to people and at their forefront through use of technology through webinars, even if we are from our homes. So we know that there are technical glitches possible, there are 101 other possibilities, but then still we can see people are still interested to see what we are doing and how they can connect. So my next question to you, Nixon sir, how is SBI Foundation Youth for India Fellows contributing to this situation? Because you have a sizable amount of fellows who are in rural areas. They are talented. They are very talented. They are experts in certain areas, and they are placed in rural sites with partner organizations where they can bring some change, or they can at least decide a plan of action that they can contribute to. So how are they contributing to today's situation?
See, due to the lockdown and consequent social distancing, the projects which many of our fellows had undertaken had to stop midway. It would be definitely disappointing for them, but the spirit of resilience, innovation, and the intense urge to bring a positive change, which is the hallmark of every SBI Youth for India fellow, has seen each of them initiating efforts towards addressing COVID-related issues. It is to be remembered with pride and inspiration that all of them stayed put in the villages to give hope and support to the community with which they had been engaged. What a powerful message our fellows are giving in these troubled times.
Yes.
See, it is in times of crisis that heroes are born. And I feel that our SBI Youth for India fellows who are stationed in remote villages are the heroes of the time.
Yes.
They have been supporting their partner NGOs in various ways, including coordinating and implementing relief efforts, including distribution of ration and safety kits to their community members. The fellows also carried out a nationwide survey to assess the impact of COVID-19 on their communities. With over 700 responses from various grassroots communities, it offers SBI Foundation and its ecosystem partners valuable insights to plan the way forward for the coming months. Along with conducting the survey through virtual means, our fellows also spread awareness during the discussions to enhance community level preparedness and avoid misinformation regarding COVID-19. Our fellows have already started aligning their fellowship projects to address the immediate and long-term needs of the community that are bound to arise due to the ongoing COVID situation. I should proudly state that these boys and girls are living and breathing the SBI Youth for India fellowship spirit. That is flexibility, resilience, courage, and a caring heart, which should make not only them, but their parents and all of us extremely proud and satisfied. They have made this one of the finest hours in life. All these efforts will make a huge difference to the communities with whom they are engaged with, and also India's fight against COVID.
Correct. So the class 2019-2020, these fellows are going to remain iconic to SBI. Yeah. So a big round of applause you can give. I mean, all the fellows who are watching us live, you can give to yourself. We also salute you. So one crowdsourced question, just because you're talking about the fellowship, everybody else who are not part of the fellowship but are part of either your partnership teams or other people who probably are taking inspiration from the foundation, they would like to know what is the impact of the pandemic onto the Youth for India Fellowship as a program and how the foundation is handling it. Because you had certain, I mean, every fellow, the program had its mandate, and suddenly you had to change that mandate, or you had to look at a different approach to the mandate. How are you looking at tackling it? How is the foundation looking at tackling it? And how are you looking at a logical conclusion towards the fellowship for this class of fellows who are currently in the rural areas?
The SBI Youth for India Fellowship is mainly based on the creativity and innovation of our boys and girls. So, COVID has affected all aspects of our life. Naturally, it has affected the existing structure or journey of SBI Youth for India Fellows, which was there from 2011 onwards. But you see, our current fellows have adjusted to the situation. With their creativity and innovation, they have aligned their projects to COVID-related. So the time to come, social distancing, wearing masks, all these are going to be the norms. And this is definitely going to affect the way the journey was done in the earlier phases. but that is a new normal. It doesn't restrict us in going ahead with the fellowship during the current year.
So you will be having so you are going to be having the call for fellowship for 2020 also, is it?
Yes, of course, because the villages, that is Bharat, needs them.
Great. And sir, what do you think? Are you optimistic that you're going to get the fellows to go and live in the in the villages during 2020? What is the plan?
See, we had during this year we had more than 50,000 registrations, and 12,000 of them have been shortlisted. And again, for the interaction, we will be calling around 600.
Okay.
There is significant proportion of India's millennials who want to go to India's villages and make some change.
Yes.
So we are very optimistic and hopeful that we will be getting 100 fellows during the year. And that 200 fellows who are intensely passionate and committed to making a change.
Okay.
So even though social distancing, wearing mask, all will be the norms, we are leaving it to the creativity and innovation of our fellows to find out projects which can resolve rural issues.
Great, great. And current projects, sir, the fellows who are running current projects, how is that going to be concluded?
See, as I told you, they have aligned their projects to COVID-related relief activities.
Okay.
So various cases, like some of them have like a thought of livelihood activities involving making of masks, stitching of masks. Or some of them would be providing education on an online mode. And all these are innovative activities which our fellows are already doing there without our direction at all.
Okay.
That is the kind of fellows we are taking every year. The 100 fellows we are taking every year are so brilliant, so talented, so passionate to make change that they come with their own solutions when they are facing a crisis like COVID. So I'm very optimistic. Our SBI Foundation is very optimistic that SBI Youth for India Fellowship will go at full strength in 2021 also.
Great, great. Manjula ma'am, I have a question for you on partnerships. How does one explore partnerships and collaborations with the foundation? Because now with the foundation taking leadership in responding to COVID-19, also looking at kind of, various ways in which the flagship programs can be run. If there are partners who probably are funders, non-funders, or people, individuals, how can they explore partnerships with the foundation?
Yeah, Indrani, I've already told you what our long-term vision is. So we are looking for partners, actively looking for good partners. And if anyone feels that they can partner with us in this situation, please do get in touch with us. Our email addresses are given in the website itself. You're welcome, and we will definitely look at it, evaluate, and we will do it. So we really welcome good projects with the same vision.
Great. Ma'am, one more question I have is, how can the audience who are probably looking at this session right now, of course, they are going to be, following us on the social media channels and the website. If they have to be part of it, how can they become part of it? Like as a volunteer or, if they want to donate, what is the best way of the audience contributing to the mission of COVID-19 and otherwise programs of the foundation?
Yeah, see, for donation, we already have set up a donation window in our website. And anyone can donate for the COVID-19 relief fund. So it is eligible for the 80G deduction and the income tax. So the taxes also comes virtually immediately to the person whoever donates. And anyone who donates, it can rest assured that their money will be used for the purpose intended and the beneficiaries will be correctly identified and helped. So please, I request those who are attending this webinar to donate generously to this, because whatever funds we have is not enough. So everything is a drop in the ocean, and every drop makes a difference, right? And for the youth, I know we have already received a lot of applications for the Youth for India. If you have this year, well and good. We hope that you come on board. Otherwise, please look at it in future, because this is one way where you can make a difference to the rural and social cause what you have always wanted to do. And having the SBI brand behind you in this noble initiative will go a long way in changing your mindset and giving you a great career ahead in the social development sector. Of course, as far volunteering is concerned, yes, right now we have we have just started a virtual volunteering program. On a website, we do have a good deeds challenge, and we hope to come up with some more such virtual volunteering programs. And if in any time in the future we think we need volunteers, we'll definitely announce in our website.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Nixon, sir, one question that we have from the audience is that apart from COVID-19, the foundation also has other flagship programs. How have they evolved during this changing time?
See, as I told you, we have 3 flagship programs: the SBI Youth for India Fellowship, then we have the SBI Gram Seva, and the Center of Excellence for Persons with Disabilities. Apart from that, we have been supporting some other projects also where NGOs had approached us. As regards SBI Gram Seva, due to this COVID, we had to function at a low key because we had to maintain social distancing. And at village level also, lot of arrival of migrants, their issues.
Yes.
And also whatever activities we were doing earlier were almost coming to a standstill because of the lockdown.
Correct.
But then over a period of time, we have decided along with the community there that we should do something. And therefore, our SBI Prerana tailoring centers there are stitching masks. And almost 30,000 masks have been stitched there and given to the communities.
Yeah.
We have started distributing ration kits to the needy in these villages. And apart from that, we are also spreading awareness about COVID in these villages. The Center of Excellence for Disabled Persons also are taking up initiatives that will make life comfortable for persons with disability. And in all these programs have not come to a standstill due to COVID.
Okay.
Only it is all functioning in a low key. And in the months to come, as things improve, all these will come back to the earlier stage of intense activity.
Okay. Thank you, sir. But one more question, a follow-up question from my side I'd like to ask about it is that, yes, we understand that the flagship programs have continued, and while they have aligned themselves more in response to the pandemic, and also there is a bright chance that there will be acceleration of the efforts as things become normal. But we are also moving towards new normal. So has there been adjustments in the programs where probably there are new strategies based of how the program is going to be implemented in future?
See, as our MD has ordered, we will be focusing more on COVID because it is a major crisis, an unprecedented one which has affected our nation.
Yes.
So most of our programs during the year will be related to health and COVID-related relief activities.
Okay.
So we have started a new flagship program based on health.
Okay.
So this year is going to be activities, projects related to health.
Thank you.
And all other programs where we had already committed would be continuing. But new projects would be mostly related to health because that is something which is very much required, very much imperative, and that is what India needs now.
Yes, absolutely. You're correct. So just to kind of, wrap up on that is that, yes, so the foundation is going to continue the programs and is going to continue the commitments. So all the parties engaged in different programs sure that the foundation is going to keep up its commitment to whatever action plans have been drawn earlier. Also, the foundation is committed to look at new efforts that can be aligned as the new situations. But everything as of now, situation is going to be driven towards health initiatives. So COVID-19 is going to be a priority, but at the same time, other flagship programs will continue. Sir, I will also like to, SBI Foundation's, one of the efforts of this session was to launch the COVID-19 publication, which is a publication that was prepared by the Youth for India Fellows. So would you like to tell a little bit about that, and can we see what it is?
See, as I told earlier, COVID has affected adversely India as well as Bharat. And our fellows are in the villages.
Yes.
When this COVID crisis reached the villages, our fellows were conveying to us the sad predicament of our villages, of the community with which they were engaged. So we told them, why don't we understand their situation in much better terms so that we can afford them help, and also we can relate to the world, relate to the various other organizations, the situation in which our villages are placed. So our fellows surveyed online and understood from the villagers what is the status in the village, what is the level of awareness of COVID in the villages, what precautions they are taking, what is the status of their livelihood, how is their daily life going on, what has been the impact due to the arrival of migrants. All these our fellows studied and gave us a report. But this study also exposed them to what the agony with what the villagers are going through, where many of them are not having proper livelihood. Many of them have to sleep without having dinner or day's food. Many of them are struggling to take care of the nutrition of their children and also of the dependents.
Okay.
So our fellows have come out with a book, Sangharsh se Umeed tak, from struggle to hope. From struggle to hope. And this book is a depiction of the struggles of our fellows as well as of the communities with which they have been engaged with. And this book also conveys the hope, because our fellows have been engaging with the community during this period also, and also supporting them, doing some acts of kindness, being compassionate, and spreading the message of hope. And this book is about the hope that our fellows are giving to the village communities. Because in the time of crisis, it's not only a ration or food kits which we require, but also some ears to listen.
Yes.
And our fellows have been listening to them and also become the platform to air what has been going on in the villages. And this book is about that. And I wish all those who are listening to us to read this book, which will enlighten them, make them aware of what is going on in Bharat, and also what passionate, committed, and dedicated youth can bring change. So this is all about the book. It is available in our website online. I request everyone to go through this book.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I think this is wonderful. We have a publication where experiences of the Youth for India Fellows have been reflected. and it is available on the SBI Foundation's website. We will also be probably putting that the links onto the social media streams. So do make sure all of you who are seeing us or who actually follow us on our social media streams or the Foundation social media streams, do go and take a look at the publication and see what these young innovators have to say. So, sir, we are coming to the conclusion of the session for today, but wisdom is never enough. We will like to learn a little bit more from your journey of how you have responded personally during this time in your leadership role. And do you have any last learning or advice for everybody you are working with or who know you?
It's for
you, sir. My question is to
you. The coronavirus has altered how we now live our everyday lives. But that doesn't mean everything has to change or that we should stop what we have been doing. I accept all of us cannot be equally strong when crisis tears at us. But the strong amongst us should spread positivity and inspire others so that the ripple effects will make many more strong and optimistic.
Yes.
So what I do when crisis or a situation like this arises is doing more of things which make me happy so that those around me become positive and encouraged. There is some hope, and it is not all doom and gloom. The comparatively strong among us could spread this message. So during this lockdown also, I wanted to give a powerful message to everyone that if there is a will, there is an inspiring way. Also, we have to spread the message of hope. So though I'm used to running outside, lockdown has completely arrested me. But then I thought that I will do jogging or walking inside my apartment, jog along the corridor of my apartment and complete 42 kilometers. And I'm very proud to tell that I did it not once, but thrice.
Oh.
That gave a very inspiring message to many of my friends, or those who are watching me in the social media, that I get messages even now that many of them have started walking, jogging inside the apartments.
Yes.
So what I want is, the message is accept the situation, but then how to respond is the option given to us. This is not an easy time for all of us. Yet it is not the time to feel down. As Winston Churchill once said, the price of greatness is responsibility. Now is the time for each of us to be great, to ourselves, to our loved ones, to our country, through our personal acts of kindness and responsibility. This is the time for us where we can be a true force for good. So my message is this: let us spread the message of hope and kindness.
Great, sir. Thank you. Sorry, sir. Please go on.
Because what we see is this crisis has not only shown the bad things, it has shown us several ordinary persons, healthcare workers and NGOs, doing selfless service, braving huge challenges to mitigate the sufferings of those affected by COVID, putting the well-being of all people and the planet first. That is the power of kindness and compassion, which we have to spread. Nothing spreads like fear, but nothing stops fear like hope. So let us spread the message of hope, and together we will overcome this.
So true, sir. You remind me of Albert Einstein's quote where he says, if he has 1 hour to save the earth, he is going to invest 59 minutes in looking at what the problem is and 1 minute to solve it. So you said it all, encapsulating that. Yes, accept it. Accepting a problem or accepting a situation does not mean that you have to agree to it. But yes, be hopeful, be kind to yourself and be kind to the society. Manjula ma'am, I'm going to come to you for your last remarks for this session. And I have a question which may look a little bit tough, but the tough question comes to the toughest leaders who has that responsibility, Manjula ma'am. So Manjula ma'am, you have joined the foundation in June 2020 at a time when everything is changing. You have the responsibility to move the foundation to new heights. Also, you have the responsibility of adaptation to new normal. So, Manjula ma'am, what is your last comments towards how you are approaching the whole thing, and what inspiration drives you, and what you will like to leave as a message for the youth of India?
Yeah, Indrani, I have great hope in the youth of India today. And I have never seen a more committed generation than what I am seeing now. Intelligent, committed, smart, and very logical, and very much involved in the social issues of the day. So this crisis, what has come, is something, like I said before, it's not something we have seen earlier or not we're going to see, hopefully, few years. So, like you yourself said before, crisis is what makes heroes of us. So I want all our youth to power ahead with all your capabilities and with empathy, kindness, love in your heart, and a feeling of fellowship for the others in society. And as long as all these things are there, I'm sure India and the world will go ahead and overcome this pandemic in the most best manner. And as for the foundation is concerned, yes, healthcare is very important right now. Although we have been doing our bits and pieces on health, but now we are going to have a more focused approach on healthcare, livelihood, skill training. These are all things which we need to focus on, because this pandemic has also noticed a lot of aspects in our society which was not there before. None of us thought about the migrant labor, right? Laborer who is right now the most vulnerable of the society. Now they are back into the villages. Now this is what I want our Youth for India fellows and our Gram Seva NGOs and partners to look at that problem. And this is where it will be the make or break of our society right now. And we need to act with immediately, urgently, and with a lot of empathy in our heart. And that is what I would like to tell. I'm sure most of our viewers are the youth of today, and this is the message which I would like to give.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
We will overcome, and we definitely can. We will. Yeah.
Yes, as there's a song called "We Shall Overcome Someday," of course. Thank you, Manjula ma'am. Thank you, Nixon sir, for your time today, for the candid conversation. Manjula, Kalyanasundaram, and Nixon Joseph are not only the team of SBI Foundation's leadership, but they themselves are very human, and you can see very empathetic. Their experience speaks more than anything else how much they have treated a situation called crisis, and crisis like a situation. So we have lots to learn from them, and from the courage that they bring. So you see, leadership comes with courage. Leadership comes with the responsibility of sustenance and resilience, and that is what is actually true reflection of a strength of an organization. The pandemic has set a new context. It's called new normal. We all are in the process of embracing change, which is the only thing that is constant. We are embracing change within capacities, our own timeframes and eagerness. SBI Foundation and its fraternity has kept up the momentum and has actually set an example that situation may seem like a roadblock, but every lock has a key. So stay tuned with SBI Foundation on its social media channels and website for more amazing updates. And thank you for tuning into today's session. And you have gained, I'm sure you have gained a lot of important insights. Don't forget to leave your comments and connect with us online with your views and further questions. This is Indrani Sharma signing off. Namaste.
Thank you, Indrani.
Thank you. Thank you.